I know the veterans, I know them well, and I know that they know that I'll take care of them. And I've been proud of their support and their recognition of my service to the veterans.
Why do most POW MIA activists consider Senator John McCain a key obstacle to government investigations of POW MIAs?
On his legislative record, Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America give John McCain a grade of D, as in dope, compared to Obama's B, as in better. Disabled American veterans gave McCain a 20 out of 100, compared with Obama's score of 80.
And I love them, and I'll take care of them, and they know that I'll take care of them. And that's going to be my job.
Why did Senator John McCain's legislation make his POW records classified forever?
Senator McCain repeatedly spoke tonight about veterans, how much he literally loves them. He used that word, and how he will care for them. As the chairman of a veterans organization, what was your reaction?
Look, it's a joke at this point. When I was in Iraq in 2003, we were literally taking plates that we found of Iraqi plates and putting them into the vests of American, we didn't have our own body armor plates. And Senator McCain voted twice in 2003 against $1 billion appropriations for National Guard and Reserve units that would have put these sappy plates in there. The Landrieu Amendment in May of that year, then again the Dodd Amendment in 2003.
Jim, when I came home from prison, I saw our veterans being very badly treated, and it made me sad.
The dwell time issue in 2006 last year was a huge issue. If you spend 12 months in Iraq, you get 12 months at home. John McCain led the opposition to that.
And I love them, and I'll take care of them, and they know that I'll take care of them.
In 2003, because the military was going to be overextended from this war, he opposed increasing the size of the military. And then the GI Bill vote. I mean, it's the signature piece of legislation this year for veterans. It would have given these kids the same advantages their grandparents had, and he carried the water for the White House on this issue. And when it came down to the point it was going to pass, he hung out with the owner of the San Diego Chargers at a political fundraiser with his lobbyist friends. So it's a joke.
And I love them, and I'll take care of them, and they know that I'll take care of them.
And why did he torpedo legislation that would prosecute government officials for impeding POW MIA investigations?
John McCain saying he'd take care of veterans. I just want to point out, Disabled Veterans of America rate John at 20% on his voting record. The veterans groups don't think John has cared for the veterans coming home.
From 1991 to 1992, Senator John McCain was on the Senate Select Committee on POW MIA affairs.
And I embarked on an effort to resolve the POW MIA issue, which we did in a bipartisan fashion. And then I worked on normalization of relations between our two countries so that our veterans could come all the way home.
Even Republican Senate Chief of Staff Dr. James Lucier states, Bob Dole wouldn't let McCain be the chairman of the Senate Select Committee on POW MIA affairs because he knew McCain would just sweep everything under the carpet.
I guarantee you, as President of the United States, I know how to heal the wounds of war, I know how to deal with our adversaries, and I know how to deal with our friends.
This is Senator McCain addressing the sister of a Vietnam War Air Force pilot missing in action.
Along with many other allegations that you have made that are patently and totally false and deceptive to the American people, especially your allegation that what was achieved by the recent agreement with the Vietnamese as being a fiasco, et cetera, as you were quoted in the media.
This is Senator McCain addressing the North Vietnamese Army colonel who interrogated him in the POW camp.
It's very nice to see Colonel Bui Tin under different circumstances than our previous meetings. It's a very powerful and important one that, frankly, to some degree transcends the POW MIA issue.
And I embarked on an effort to resolve the POW MIA issue, which we did in a bipartisan fashion. And then I worked on normalization of relations between our two countries so that our veterans could come all the way home. I guarantee you, as President of the United States, I know how to heal the wounds of war, I know how to deal with our adversaries, and I know how to deal with our friends.
Again, Senator McCain addressing the sister of an American MIA fighter pilot.
I'd like to finish, Ms. Alphonse. I'd like you to direct the witness to let me finish, Mr. Chairman. A man whose credentials are unimpeachable, even by someone like you. You allege that you have been working on this issue for many years. I certainly know that and appreciate it. So have a lot of us, Mrs. Alphonse.
I guarantee you, as President of the United States, I know how to heal the wounds of war, I know how to deal with our adversaries, and I know how to deal with our friends.
And addressing his former North Vietnamese POW captor.
Mr. E know Senator McCain very well.
Ông McCain hiểu trải là tiếng Việt Nam là ông Cài.
Mr. McCain, while in the camp, has a Vietnamese name, Mr. Cai.
Cài.
Cai.
Và mỗi một tù binh Mỹ đều có một cái tên Việt Nam.
Each American prisoner of war has a Vietnamese name.
McCain addresses Dolores Alfon, National Chairperson, National Alliance of Families for POW MIAs.
And I'm sick and tired of you denigrating mine and many other people's who happen to have different views than yours. Now I'm finished, Mr. Chairman.
I'd just like to comment that the family members have been waiting for years. Years.
I'm aware of that, Ms. Alfon.
And now you're shutting down? What method are we going to use in order to resolve this issue?
I know how to heal the wounds of war. I know how to deal with our adversaries, and I know how to deal with our friends.
Now, when you call it a fiasco and committee duplicity, then you and I have strong disagreement, Ms. Alfon.
Sir, it was not the fiasco of the 4 or whatever remains came back or information on remains. The fiasco was the people that stepped out and said, we have written the final chapter to Vietnam.
No one said that.
And I embarked on an effort to resolve the POW-MIA issue, which we did in a bipartisan fashion.
That was in the statement the first day. The final chapter is coming to its end, and we have not even come close to the final chapter of Vietnam, World War II, Korea, or the Cold War.
No one said what you're saying they said, Ms. Alfon. I have no more questions.
Let me, all right.
As Dolores Alfon predicted, funding for the Senate Committee on POW MIAs was not renewed and was disbanded before the POW MIA issue could be fully investigated.
I guarantee you, as President of the United States, I know how to heal the wounds of war, I know how to deal with our adversaries, and I know how to deal with our friends.
And once again, Senator McCain and former North Vietnamese Army Colonel POW interrogator Bui Tin.
Colonel Bui Tin, I'm not looking forward to meeting some of those people that need to be interviewed. In fact, I think I will decline. But I certainly understand why they should be. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the very great indulgence that you and the rest of the committee have shown now.
I know how to heal the wounds of war, I know how to deal with our adversaries, and I know how to deal with our friends.
Conservative Ted Sampley, Vietnam veteran, Green Beret Special Forces, founding member of the National Alliance of POW MIA Families, states, "For years, McCain has been an unchecked master at manipulating an overly friendly and biased news media. The former POW turned congressman, turned U.S. senator, has managed to gloss over his failures as a pilot and his collaborations with the enemy to become America's POW hero presidential candidate."
With the GI Bill, with the Webb-Hagel dwell time bill, which would have given troops just as much time at home as they had in Iraq, he votes just like George Bush on the war in Iraq. The policy of retreat against al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and waving the white flag of surrender of bin Laden, he's been supporting that policy by keeping 90% of our army in Iraq. His foreign policy proposals don't add up. You can't increase the size of the army, send more troops to Afghanistan, and stay in Iraq 100 years. You know, that's why there's groups out there like the Disabled American Veterans, like VoteVets.org. I mean, we're going to come after Senator McCain on this issue. The GI Bill issue is not going to go away. The fact that he doesn't support full mandatory funding for the Veterans Administration, these issues are not going to go away. The guy talked in the first part of the debate about how cheap he is. Look, he's too cheap for the vets. We know it. He was too cheap to pay for the GI Bill, and we're going to hammer him on it.
Is it any wonder why families of POW MIAs feel betrayed by McCain? They don't trust Senator John McCain. Should you?